Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Buck Roll. Alright, it's Sunday, Easter Sunday, first day of my short weekend, and I had like several things I wanted to do today, but apparently the city of Waco and probably most of Texas tends to shut down normally on Sundays, and they go extra shutdown on Easter Sunday. So I was going to maybe do some stuff in the yard, but the garden store was closed. I was going to maybe do a cooking recipe, but even HEB is closed. And so I came home, I figured, okay, well, let's figure out what we can do. And I started cleaning out the filter for the swimming pool, and at one point I turned off the pump and turned it back on again, and it didn't start spinning. It sounded like it's got seized up. Now it was working perfectly just a couple minutes ago, so I think whatever's going on, I maybe just got something stuck in the pump itself, and I am going to try and see if I can figure out what that is and get it working again. So the easiest way to do that, rather than working in the backyard, is I just literally disconnected it and brought it in here into the garage. And I think what I want to do is I want to take this piece off right here. You see, you turn it on and you don't hear anything happening. You just hear the kind of the motor whining there. So it just sounds like something's jammed up. So I'm going to take this piece off here, and let's get a look inside and see if we can figure out what that is. Alright, so I got the front piece off, and honestly I'm not sure what was in there that was seizing things up, because it's all fine now, and in fact when I turn on the switch the pump works again. So I don't know what exactly happened, why it stopped working. Maybe we flushed whatever it was in there out of there, but yeah, see, I don't see anything in there that could be a problem. Kind of looking through here, there's nothing here. I'm going to kind of clean it out a little bit and get it back together and see if that solves the problem. But yeah, not exactly sure what happened. Like I said, it would not run at all. You know, I turned it off, turned it back on again, and it stopped running, and you heard what it sounded like. So I'm not exactly sure what happened, but whatever it is, I seem to have gotten the bottom of it. So let's put this thing back together and like I said, clean it up first, get all the gunk out of there as much as possible, and then we'll put it back together. I think I'm just going to take this part out in the backyard and hose it off. That's probably the easiest way to do that. This I want to be a little bit careful because there's electronics in there and I don't want to get them wet. That's not generally a good thing to do, is to get electronics wet. So I'll work on this, and we'll see what comes up next. Alright, I got the front piece reattached and it still works. Now, just a little safety thing here. Water pumps like this are designed to operate in water. So you don't want to turn it on outside of water, at least not for a long period of time. It's okay for a minute, but it really kind of depends on the temperature of the water to cool the pump down. So you want to be really, really careful with that. But it still works. I got it back together. I have no idea why it stopped working. It just did. By the time I had this front piece off, you know, it was already spinning normally. So I don't know, there might have been just something that was wedged in there that came out when I removed the screws, but whatever the issue is, it seems to be fine now. Next thing I got to do is put the base back on. That's this thing here. That just goes on the bottom. Now, there were 4 screws that are supposed to hold that in. In reality, one of the screws was missing, and one of the screws was so rusted out that it was actually kind of a small miracle that I succeeded in getting that one out at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the 2 screws that were there, and I'm going to put 2 new screws in, and that'll have more permanently attach the base to the pump itself, and hopefully that should solve any problems in the future. I don't think that these screws have anything to do with whatever the problem was, because they aren't going anywhere near the pump or any of the moving parts. But yeah, I don't know, this is one of those things that just might be a mystery. Sometimes you just got to take things apart, put them back together, and it figures itself out. So anyway, let's put the base back on this and reinstall it and make sure it works. Alright, I got the base reattached. The pump still works, so let's go reattach it to the outside there. Make sure we're still working. Make sure we don't have any leaks. That's always a big thing. There's like a little O-ring that connects these two things together, which should hopefully prevent any leaks. And I think I got that O-ring in there right. So I guess we'll find out when we turn the water on and don't see water spurting out of the side of this thing. Let's go put it back in the backyard. So I got this thing back into where it belongs. Doesn't seem to be any serious leaks, although we're going to keep an eye on it over the next couple of days, make sure we're all right. I think one of the things I want to do though is I want to backwash this. And by backwashing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run water through the pump backwards, or through the filter housing backwards. So instead of coming in from the bottom or from the top and going down to the bottom and then back into the pool, it's going to go in from the bottom, come up the top of the pump, and then drain to the waste. That waste line that I put in there. That way, if anything has settled on the surface of the pump, it'll get flushed out and hopefully clear up any problems I have. So I've got it in backwash mode. Let's turn the pump on. Definitely seems to be working. And oh yes, I got a lot more water coming out of here. And the water doesn't look too bad right now. I ran this a couple days ago, and it was just literally, it looked like milk coming out of the water, out of the pump. So, and there's still a little bit of this. Yeah, see, it's getting a little gray right now. So we're going to run that for a minute until the water's nice and clear again, and then we'll turn it back on to its normal mode, and we'll make sure we're working properly. I'm also seeing a lot more flow in here in the skimmer too, so that's a good thing also. Yeah, see, that's looking better already. So I think I'm going to stop this now, put it back into normal mode. Actually, probably what I'll do is I'll run water through the pump the normal way, but I can go through the pump, through the filter, and then go to waste. So if there's anything loose in there, it blows that out, not into the pool. Alright, so I'm going to put this to filter to waste. And so like I said, it basically will run through the filter and then back out into the waste stream. And that will, anything that's in there now will also get flushed out. And that should only take a couple seconds. Probably have to top off the pool a little bit after this too, because that's a lot of water we're pouring down the drain. I think that looks good already. So let's stop that, put it back into normal mode, and see how we're working. Alright, so back into normal filter mode. Let's turn the pump on and see how we're doing now. Now we should have water coming out of here. Oh yeah, look at that water flow. That's way better. Yeah, we're going to have to blow a little air out of there first, but once again, look at that water flow. That's way better. Yeah, see, it's actually sucking in some of the debris, which is what we needed to do. That's its job. It's coming in there so aggressively. But look at that. I've lowered the water level. Just lowered it about halfway here, probably a whole inch in just a couple minutes. That just shows you how powerful that pump is. But yeah, the water flow into here is great now. So we're going to top it off with the hose, and I think maybe we got this problem solved. Still not sure what the problem was, but it works now. So good to go. Yeah, 4 minutes of water running through the pump to lower the water level 1 inch in the pool. And it'll probably take an hour to fill it up. Now, one of the things I noticed now that it's running normally, that it's a lot quieter than it used to be. So that's a good thing too. So we'll keep an eye on this, make sure it's working, but we're topping it off. Like I said, I'm happy with the water flow in here now. We have a massive amount of gunk getting sucked into the skimmer, which is what we want. Look at all the waves that are being generated by the water being recirculated into the pool again. Yeah, that wasn't working like that. Yeah, the water pressure is significantly better. I couldn't do that just a few minutes ago. So very, very happy with that. It's looking a lot better now. So we'll let the water fill up for about an hour, and that should get us an extra inch in the pool. And I think this project is done. So thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.